Hey, it's another one. It's another one of these updates. I haven't made one of these in a while. I feel like I have a thing for making these because I make them quite often, more often than I make actual videos. Oh my god. Well, that's the decade over and done with. January 1st, 2020. We're gonna have what was his name? Leonard Nimoy. Like, he's gonna tell us about Y2K2. Yeah. So this year's not been that productive overall. I feel like, you know, I gotta talk about my channel, I guess, for this video instead of just saying what I'm going to do, because I've pretty much already gone over what I want to do. Just try to be more creative with the channel and try different things. I have plans, but some of them didn't really go into fruition. But I'll take my time. But I guess I just wanted to kind of like go over this channel's history, because I don't think I've really talked about it that much overall. And it's been a strange decade. I'd say. It's funny though, because when the new year was counting down, I was more thinking about the new year rather than, oh, the decade, because most of the decade was just me being like a real asshole kid. Like, all things considered, I was just not very good person up until, like, I don't know, 2018 maybe. I don't know. Like, I look back on my old videos and I was just such a negative, terrible person. Like, I privated a lot of stuff, but a lot of it was just kind of not nice. And like, I just feel like I've become less bitter as a person overall, and I feel like I've found people that I surround myself with that bounce off better in terms of me not also becoming very bitter. So I feel like in general I've just grown a lot as a person over the decade, and you know, I don't really look back on it and think like, oh, the growth. It's more like, well, those are all the years where I was a dumb teenager saying dumb things on the internet and had a really bad attitude towards pretty much everything. So I mean, where to start with this channel? I mean, Jesus. I made videos since 2008 on an old channel. I uploaded like Courage the Cowardly Dog clips and got like copyright struck like twice, and I made video game reviews, which I actually did re-upload one. I edited it a bit, but you can see it. It's the Sonic Rush thing. Melon still bullies me over it. Whatever. I'm fine with it. But this channel, it started out really weird. Like, I made this channel because I needed another channel, and I just gave it like a random name like Arcane Toast. I didn't really think about it, which I think, like, I see a lot of people who rebrand because they don't like their original name because they try to sound cool, and then they realize this doesn't sound cool. Like Sephiroth 99, that doesn't sound cool. I gotta get something new. Like, for me, it's just I already chose a dumb name, and it's so dumb that I don't need to change. I don't need to change it. I've never felt the need to change it. It's I don't know. I'm fine with it. But I remember on this channel I would make YouTube poops, I think, and then I deleted them because they were really embarrassing and then potentially like copyright-ish. So I had to kind of like nuke them a while back. I also made like Let's Plays of me playing Zelda and just kind of being a just annoying person for most of it, until my friend Pat joined and made it a lot more bearable to watch, probably because he's way funnier. And we did the whole like Lettuce Gaming thing throughout 2015, 2016, and that was actually quite a bit of fun. We kind of abandoned it later on because we just don't have the time for it. We don't really talk that much because he's really busy. But that was a really fun project to do, like Let's Plays, because it was something I wanted to do. And I mean, we ended up finishing like 2 projects, which in my past of Let's Playing and trying to be like some Let's Player clone, I'd never finished a Let's Play before, and Majora's Mask was the first one I ever finished. So that was interesting for sure. And then of course there was music, where I was messing around with FL Studio, you know, the demo, where you get all these synths, and I would just play stuff, and you couldn't save projects. So what I had to do was export the track and then just upload it as it was with like Camtasia or whatever. I mean, that's as lo-fi as it gets. That's real artist credibility. No, God, that was a nightmare, to be honest. I would never wish anyone else to make music that way, because it was really not fun. So I would make these songs, and then eventually I discovered FamiTracker and learned how to use it. And from there, it just sort of snowballed, and I started doing chiptune. Not really much to say other than I was probably a really annoying person. I get the impression I think I really annoyed a lot of people because I was like 15. I was making these crappy like 4-chord songs that had nothing going for them, and I was just being really annoying on Twitter. And then maybe I'm being really hard on myself, but like I don't know, it was just a very strange person overall. Eventually I got kind of tired of it during like 2017, where I was like, I'm quitting chiptune, and I tried doing like EDM, and because I was on an EDM thing, and that was probably the biggest mistake I ever made, because a lot of those songs are actually even worse. They're so bad, so derivative. Oh my God. I mean, you can listen to Voxel Dreams, I guess, but that album sucks. It's so terrible, and I'm not deleting it. It's still up. You can listen to it and you can laugh at it. But oh yeah, fun story about Voxel Dreams. I remember this British pirate radio station host actually played some of the songs off that album on his radio thing. I don't know. It was on the internet somewhere, and it went from like hardcore hentai anime breakbeat to like my song that goes doo, 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 doo. And I just laughed so hard. I thought it was so funny. Even back then, just the sheer dissonance of those two tracks just caught me off guard. I don't know, I thought that was really fun. But eventually now, you know, I think I spent most of 2017 to 2018 finding a sound, and that, you know, learning how to play bass, playing in a band, just learning a lot about musical expression. And I feel like now that I've made my album Lao, which, you know, I have my issues with, I guess, because it's kind of rushed, to be honest. A lot of the songs are scrapped. It took forever to finish. It took like 3 years to make, just because I would keep scrapping. And everything you hear there, the oldest track there is Port City, which is like 5 years old. So that gives you an idea of how old some of the material is. So some of it was scrapped, but I guess it's like a scrapyard album in a way. But I feel like since then, you know, putting up that song Riga, I think I found a sound where I feel like I'm taking influences from things without copying them. And I know there's that saying of like, oh, the good artist steals and the bad one's copycat or whatever. And it's just like, for me, it's like, I don't want to end up taking things from other things, but it feels like when I make music now, it's more like, well, you know, I really like old Anamanaguchi, and I really like Yes, but I also really like My Bloody Valentine and Sonic Youth, and like I just take all these different things I like listening to, and getting this stupid song out of it, and it just feels like, wow, I actually made this. I don't know. I'm sure in 5 years I'll do the exact same thing where I'm like, oh, this is bad, but you know, that's just how it is. God, this has been a real narcissistic episode, hasn't it? Well, that's just the history of the channel, how I feel like I developed, and for now I really want to try video game music again, and see if I can get make music for a project or something, because I remember doing it for the Granddad game. Oh, that was really fun though. That was really fun, getting to make music for a project, and I would want to do that again at some point. But at the same time, it's like, oh, that's a lot of work, and I gotta study stuff first before I can do that. But yeah, that's what it feels like with music. I'm still working on stuff. I'm taking my time. I'm not stressing about it. I'm gonna try and take back old material. I'm not gonna scrap things unnecessarily. And I just feel like I'm a bit happier where I am sonically now, because before I felt very derivative, standard chiptune, whatever, and now it feels more like, well, I'm inhabiting my own little space where I make my music. It doesn't appeal to a lot of people probably, but I enjoy making it, and I hope someone enjoys listening to it. So I'm definitely gonna drop a song before the new album is finished, just because I can. But yeah, I guess that's it about music. I've already gone over other stuff. And for videos, you know, I look at my, you know, it's funny, I just started this thing, I'm not thinking about this too much of a decade. It's more like I'm thinking of it now as half a decade. It's, I don't know, this is very undecisive in terms of what I want to talk about. God, videos. So, you know, I made 5 reviews, I think. And the latest one I made was the Thief review in 2017. And my God, I'm still really happy with how that came out. Like, not too happy with the voiceover, but the editing, the use of the little like arcane toaster avatar that I would always like make new images for. It's not very original, I guess, in that regard, because a lot of people do that. But it was a fun video to make. And I kind of really shot myself in the foot by not making more videos, but I'm gonna work on Thief 2, and I have another video in the works. No clue when that's gonna be made, but I procrastinated a lot. I struggle with mental illness, so that kind of gets in the way of doing that stuff. But as you can see, you know, instead of doing that, I've been streaming more on YouTube, and it's been weird. Like, I've been trying to think, should I stream on Twitch or YouTube? But now it's more like, well, I'll just stream on YouTube unless someone like has a problem with that, because it's just convenient in case, you know, you lose the file and you can just upload the stream. I promise I won't cut them up anymore though, because when you do one 4-hour stream, just upload the 4-hour stream. Don't upload 2 parts, because that just clogs up the channel, and I don't want to make another stream channel. That's so much work. But yeah, I've been streaming more. I don't know if I'll ever find like a schedule, but because I very much go off of my mood. Like, I would never stream when I'm feeling down, because I just worry that the stream's gonna be a downer stream, and I don't want that. So I have to catch myself in the right mood to do it. So that's pretty much it with streams. But you know, just looking at this channel's stupid evolution, you know. But it's funny though, like. I actually forgot about Spookville. I remember that was a series I started in 2016 where I just read creepypastas. And I remember the 2016 series where I would go to school, I would go to music school, I would mix a project or something, and then I would go home, like record an episode, upload it during the night, and then I would wake up, go to school, and then it was just the most stressful week, but it was so much fun. But again, it's part of that whole like, haha, this person wrote a bad story, let's make fun of it in a music or in a YouTube video, and it, you know, it's in good fun, and I didn't want to like pick on people, but that's very much what it feels like rewatching that. Like, oh, I'm laughing at someone who wrote something. This is not something I would do now, at least in the same way. I don't know. And then there was the 2017 thing where there were more people, and that was so much fun. But again, that was also a lot of work, but thankfully it wasn't as stressful because there wasn't a schedule for it or whatever. I was like, in this 1 week I'm gonna release this many episodes. It was more like, we're gonna all record a 2-hour thing, even though we didn't know it was gonna be 2 hours, and then I'm gonna somehow stitch it all together into like a Frankenstein. I think we call it like the Frankenstein's monster of videos or something, because it was like we were aiming for like an hour, and it ended up being 2 hours because of the Nightmare in Kanto bit. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and we kind of tried continuing that for another series, but then we kind of quit when Trollpasta Wiki got taken down, and I guess that was the cue that, yeah, this is kind of old now, let's just let it die. So I don't really have any plans to do that again. But that was a fun project at the time, but looking back on it, it's a bit mean-spirited, and I don't know if I want that on the channel. But yeah, that's I actually have to open my chat. What have I done? Music, Resident Evil. When I get a new PS2, I'll continue Resident Evil. Dwarf Fortress. I did a Let's Play with Mario Party 2. That was kind of fun. There's a lot of like mixed stuff here. I get the impression most people are want to watch want to watch the reviews, which makes a whole lot of sense to me, because that's a focused thing where you can go and you can expect something and you get it, right? You know, like 18 minutes, that's not a lot of time, but like a 4-hour stream, that's kind of like, that's a bit much. But I still like doing them, and I want to continue doing the streams. I just have to, like, I don't know, space them out a bit more so it doesn't clog people's timelines. You know, I remember doing this video where I played a bunch of weird NES games, and it has so many views, but like it's strange. Like it's one of those. It's not a review or anything. It's just me playing NES games that Smedis sent me or something. Like, I don't know. I've done a lot of strange things on this channel that I don't know if I agree with. But yeah, what a strange thing. I remember starting this channel out and being like, I make music, I guess, and then like Roy Boy wanting to use my music. There was just this strange life cycle of this channel. I think one of my favorite things that ever happened on this channel was I remember two things actually. One of them was Roy Boy sending me a private message and me discovering it 3 years later because I forgot that you could private message on YouTube, and it said like, hey dude, can I like use your music? And I just it's the funniest thing I'd ever read, because it's like, oh wait, this is 3 years old, I never got around to him because he had to reach me through Twitter or something. And the other thing was someone wanting to use this one really terrible song I made for a speed pixel art video, and I was like, yeah, go ahead and do it, sure. And I forgot about it, and I was like searching for it because I suddenly remembered it, and I found it, and the comments were like, why is this music so dissonant? It's so funny to me. I don't know, I thought it was funny because that song really was like, I don't think I knew what I was doing while making that song. Christ on the cross. But yeah, I'm looking through all this stuff. God, it's this channel has, what is this? A lot of these things actually, like, I always think like, it's strange. Some of these songs have like a ton of views and some of them don't. It's like someone used them, but I don't know who did it. Like, I don't know how Story On has 3,000 views. Like, did someone use that in a video and I just didn't know about it? It's very strange. But yeah, I guess that's it for the oh yeah. I'm looking through my reviews because again, I kind of have to remind myself it's 5 reviews. Hang on. Yeah, it's 5 videos. It's Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Starro, Dream Emulator, and Dark Project. It's funny though because I started off with Kazooie because I know that game. I wanted to do a game that I knew, and I did the video, and it's not that good, but you know, it's a video. Tooie, I was actually super proud of, and looking back, it's actually pretty good. Parts of it, like pretty good. Like I can watch it without puking in my mouth. And I remember just like having a lot of fun with that video. But the problem with a lot of these reviews, actually all of them, were that they were all done in Adobe Premiere, and Adobe Premiere is the absolute worst thing ever because you have to pay for it every month, and then it eats your RAM like crazy. I mean, it destroys your RAM. So my computer, it's not that good. So me editing in Adobe Premiere, God, that was a it took forever because it would freeze up every so often. I remember I did Star Road because I thought, oh, this will get the views, which was a really dumb thing because I actually liked Star Road, but I feel like I did the video in a very bad. I shouldn't have thought of it as like, oh, I'm gonna do this for the views. I should have made that video because I wanted to make that video, and I was really determined. So I guess it was a mixture of both, but I really wish I just made it more honest, you know. And then Dream Emulator was probably my worst thing ever made. It's like a 3-minute nothing video where I'm like, LSD Dream Emulator is very weird, and it's like 3 minutes long, and I'm like, I don't know, I guess it was an excuse to throw in Boards of Canada, I guess. And then of course there's Thief, which is probably my best thing I've ever made, but like I'm not too happy with the the voiceovers. They're kind of cringeworthy. But I think I did a pretty okay job with it, and this was made in Adobe Premiere, and it's a wonder this thing even finished without my computer like exploding. But I've been editing more in Sony Vegas because I snagged it during what's it called, a Humble Bundle thing, and just because it was like, I think it was $30. Otherwise it would have been like $300. So I immediately got it. I made an account. I got it. and my life has changed because now I'm editing this video review, and it's like I can move this I can stretch the timestamp on this clip without freezing the software or having to like spam the space bar. Like, it's so strange. Like, I have to rewire my brain to be like, no, you can do whatever you want and your computer won't explode. God, that's great. I remember actually as a kid I used Sony Vegas because I used the pirated like YouTube version of it, and then I stopped using my old laptop, so I couldn't use it anymore. I think it stopped working after a while or something. The software or something. I don't know. It was so strange. I should have just kept using that. But I guess that's it for the history review of this channel. I don't really know what else to say. It's been a decade of me being an insufferable asshat, but now it's more like, well, I just have to keep making stuff. I've been practicing writing more, and just trying to like record more. Like, even like live streams I find really fun because it feels like, you know, it's just fun to talk to people in chat or just tell stories, and it's kind of improvisational in nature, and I get a bit nervous about it, but it's still really fun. And that's one of the reasons I want to keep doing streams, is because it's a lot of fun, and I talk a lot about stuff, and it feels more personal. I know I've talked about the past, you know, oh, I have this idea and I have that idea. Like, I still want to really do those ideas. I just have to get around to it and get the, what's that called? I guess the right time to do it. I don't know. There's a lot of procrastinating on my end. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess the only thing I can promise with this is that at some point I'll upload another crap song, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like real big thanks for watching or giving this channel a shot for whatever reason, even if it was that terrible YouTube poop I made in 2015. I'm just really grateful that someone there's someone out there, someone that watches this, and it's like, oh, okay, like, even if it's just a passing eye, whatever, like, it's just it does matter to me. It's a fun hobby, and I don't really have any plans to, like, I guess, make it super serious, but it's been a big part of my life, this channel. Just getting to talk about things, even if it's like talking about LSD for 3 minutes and not really saying anything of value. So yeah, I guess this was a bit like a bit rambly. I'll just have to put like unrelated game footage over this, and it should be fine. But yeah, see ya.